What's good, everybody? This is Sean and you're watching On the Fly, and I just came back from watching Romulus. I know I'm a little bit late to the party. I know it's a little bit, I think it's been out for about 2 weeks now, and I'm a little slow getting into it, but I figured I might as well do it now since I'm straight out the movies rather than waiting and doing like a full thing, especially because it's been out for 2 weeks and they've already had the reviews. So based on the information that I was getting online, it seemed like the reviews were pretty good, and I'm not sure which part comes in as far as like the great part, but the movie to me was decent. It wasn't, you know, all what they cracked it up to be. I'm just gonna go ahead and give my review. Out of 10, it's probably about a solid 6, maybe a solid 6 out of 10. The good things that I will say about the film is that from the beginning to the middle, it kind of kept me on the edge of my seat. It felt like a horror movie with the sound design and, you know, everything, like the anticipation, all of those things. But when it got like towards the middle to the end, it was kind of like dull. And to be honest, the reason why it was kind of dull to me is because, number one, they didn't have enough kills. Number two, they did pretty much all of the kills within the first part all the way up until mid. Like when we got to the middle part, like there was no kills until like the very end, and I just felt like the kills, it just wasn't enough. I just felt like there were a lot of things that were left on the table. There were a lot of things that they could have done that they didn't do, and like those face huggers or whatever, they pretty much stole the show. The xenomorphs, they was cool and all, but it just didn't give me the same effect as the original one. Now I know it's kind of messed up to pretty much compare, you know, aliens from like 1979 to the point now, but you would think with, you know, with story and technology that it would be a little bit better, and to me it feels like it didn't do that for me. The main star, she wasn't doing it for me. I forgot her name. The android Andy, like I wish that he could have done more. Like I felt like he was very useless in this movie. And then I felt like the sub characters, they were very, you know, it was like cut and dry. Like there was no depth. The main character's ex-boyfriend's sister, you knew that, you know, everything that they did as far as the relationship between the people, it's like typical stuff. I was not really impressed with their character. You know, like it was typical stuff, and I wish they could have done more with Andy, because I feel like, I don't know, it's hard to say, but yeah, that film Alien Romulus, like it had a lot of promises to me, and I was eagerly waiting to see it, but it's just with the timing, it never really, you know, I never really could get to it. And so I finally got to it today, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna see what it's about, because it was definitely a spur of the moment. But like I say, the horror factor, it was there from the beginning to about mid scene, and then after that it just kind of went stale. Like it kind of just went stale, and you knew what direction that it was going, and I wasn't really feeling that. And of course, we got to talk about the oh shit moment. I think they got like a, maybe, I don't know, maybe TikTok or something. I know that they were talking about it. It was an oh shit moment at the end, and I felt like they kind of took away from the xenomorphs. For all those who haven't, you know what, F all that. I mean, the movie's been out for about 2 weeks now, so to you know, the xenomorph, well, you know what, it wasn't even a xenomorph. She put some kind of, it's hard to explain. They used like this experiment on a rat, and the rat was able to, you know, like a dead rat was able to like reconstruct itself and evolutionize, and it became a perfect rat. Well, if you watch later on in the movie, they have a scene where the rat has evolved into something else. It was like a rat spider monkey thingy or whatever the case may be, and the girl that was pregnant, to stay alive, she wanted to inject herself with that stuff. Now, she didn't know that it would evolve her into something, but she wanted to inject herself to you know, to heal. Now, because she was already losing blood and she was pretty much kind of dead, well, now I want to say dead, I don't want to use that term, but she was jacked up. All of that stuff transferred into the baby, which, because she was pregnant, I don't know how many months she was, but she couldn't have been too far along, for the simple fact is, you know, she wasn't showing. But she injected herself and it evolved into like a xenomorph / human. It was all white and it looked like one of them damn inbreds from Alabama or something like that, man. So I guess the character design or the creature design, it was kind of scary in a sense. Like, I wouldn't want to run into something like that in a dark alley. Shit, I wouldn't want to run into an inbred in a dark alley. But it was just, I felt like that movie just had so much potential, and then it just kind of fell flat. So for those of you who want to see it but didn't see it yet, I would see it just to say I've seen it, but you're not really missing anything. Like, another thing is, with the trailer, they pretty much show you who's going to die in the film. So I put it like this: those of you who haven't seen it, and those of you who seen the trailer, everything that you've seen in the trailer is pretty much what happened. Like, you know, the character deaths. I don't know. It's hard to explain, and I don't really want to get into it about, you know, this and that. But I'll have to say that I was let down by this film. Like, I really wanted this to be a good movie. Like I said, it started off strong all the way until about the middle part, and then it just kind of fell flat. It almost feels like they were in the writing room, they had a good idea, and then they just ran out of ideas just like that, and then it was like, you know, this is mid or whatever. But I don't know. I mean, I say go check it out just to say that you've seen it. Will there be a part 2? Let me see. What did they do at the end to make me feel like there'll be a part 2? Well, it all depends. Well, no, because I think she did. So I don't think there's going to be, well, I guess they're going to base it off of, you know, how the numbers do with this film. So I'm sure they can find some way to make a part 2, but if they don't come out with another one, at least a continuation of this one, and they just do a whole nother story together, then, you know, I'm cool with it. Oh, I will say this. Now, I did like the simple fact that they used the original alien ship, you know, that Sigourney Weaver or Ripley, you know, was a part of, and they used the original android. I can tell that they used a lot of CGI. I don't know if, oh boy, I don't even know if he's still alive, but if he is alive, I like how they used him and CGI'd him, and he became like the sort of bad guy in the film. So I like that they did that, and they kind of put it as a whole. But overall, man, I think that was like the only ick factor. Like, I don't know, man. I mean, it's hard to say that it was a good movie because it wasn't a bad one, but I really felt like they left a lot of things on the table that they could have done that they didn't do. So those of you who have seen it, post your comments down below. Let me know what y'all think. Those of you who haven't seen it, I would say go see it just to say that you've seen it. And I'll catch y'all on the fly. Peace.